As we follow the fighting and what could be a long invasion of Gaza, the greater concern for Americans is whether this escalation will lead to a broader war that could pull the United States in. How is Iran going to react to this? It's terrifying to think about how possible that is. And in this very real moment, this week, the pitiful anti-Western Marxist-led coalition known as the United Nations is courting the snake responsible for all of this chaos, inviting Iran's foreign minister right here in New York, just a few blocks away from this studio, and giving him a forum to spew his ridiculous propaganda. Take a look.
And the United Nations, I say frankly to the American statesmen who are now managing the genocide in Palestine that we do not welcome to expansion of the war in the region. But I warn, if the genocide in Gaza continues, they will not be spared from this fire.
They just let him into the United States to say that nonsense, to threaten our country, and then they let him just go home. The United Nations, run by West-hating socialist Antonio Guterres, invited the Iranians to New York to threaten the West. The UN will also allow Iran to chair the UN Human Rights Council Social Forum in Geneva next week. Seriously. As Iran funds terrorism all over the Middle East and just coordinated attacks on our bases that injured a couple dozen American soldiers as they drive us closer to a world war, the UN rewards them. That's the UN. How the UN hasn't been banished from U.S. soil and completely defunded at this point is a question for another time, because right now the question is, how will Iran respond to Israel's ground invasion into Gaza? There have been a lot of threats over the last couple weeks. Israeli media says the hostage negotiations have fallen apart. Israel wanted all hostages released in return for a brief ceasefire. Hamas offered 100 hostages for a 4-day pause, and at some point it just all collapsed. The UN demanding a ceasefire, which you should expect pretty much on par. The UN is siding with the wrong people, as they so often do. An institution created in the months after the end of World War II, after seeing the horrors of the Holocaust. Now the UN has been hijacked by a radical anti-Israel agenda. A very brutal irony, Israel's UN ambassador pointed out on Thursday.
Following the horrors of the Holocaust, this institution was established to prevent atrocities from repeating themselves. Yet, in these very halls, we have perpetrators of the most grotesque human rights violations and crimes against humanity.
Terrifying how corrupted the United Nations has become in recent years, so very broken. And the moral equivalency the UN is helping to propagate between Israel and Hamas is making the world much more dangerous in this moment. This week, the Russians inviting Hamas and Iran to Moscow. The Russians. As a new axis of evil is forming, we're also seeing the Chinese beating their chest, a Chinese fighter jet coming within 10 feet of a U.S. bomber, according to our military. These alignments with Hamas are much easier thanks to this manufactured moral equivalency between Hamas and Israel. That's why the propaganda campaign is so critically important for Hamas, which has been lying through its teeth about the attacks from 3 weeks ago. Listen to this interview with a Hamas leader attempting to dupe the world into believing that the horrors of that attack that we all know that they've shown to the world, killing families as they ate breakfast, beheading little kids. Yeah, Hamas is now claiming that that was never the intention at all.
From the first moment, we declared that this operation was not directed to the civilians. But I can confirm and assure again and again that there was no command to kill any civilians.
How do you justify killing people as they sleep? You know, families. How do you justify killing hundreds of people?
I want to stop this interview. I want to stop this interview.
And the coward walks away, because that's what cowards do. They run.